Have you ever caught someone's eye across a room and for half a second something flickered? Not quite a smile, but almost. And your brain immediately went into overdrive. Was that real or did I imagine it? Most of us assume that if someone genuinely liked us, we'd know. Surely something as big as attraction would announce itself, right? Loudly, unmistakably, like a neon sign. But here's the strange truth psychology keeps circling back to. The people who secretly like you are often the hardest to read, not because they're hiding something sinister, but because liking someone quietly is one of the most vulnerable things a human being can do. Let's start with why hiding it happens in the first place. You'd think attraction would make people bolder, more expressive. Instead, it often does the opposite. There's a concept in psychology called the risk of social exposure. Basically, the fear that if you reveal you like someone and they don't feel the same, you don't just lose the possibility of them, you lose face. You become the person who put themselves out there and got quietly rejected. And our brains, ancient as they are, still treat social rejection almost like physical danger. Studies using brain imaging have shown that the same regions that light up when we're in physical pain also activate when we experience social rejection. So when someone likes you and says nothing, it's not indifference, it's often self-protection. Their silence isn't the absence of feeling, it's the presence of fear.
Now, here's where it gets interesting, because secret liking doesn't look the way movies tell us it should. We're trained to expect grand gestures, the meaningful stare, the dramatic confession in the rain. Real life is quieter than that. It shows up in the smaller, almost accidental behaviors. Someone remembers a detail you mentioned once in passing weeks ago and brings it up like it's nothing. Someone laughs a little too easily at your jokes, even the mediocre ones. Someone finds a reason to walk the long way, just to pass by where you are. Psychologists call this proximity seeking, an unconscious pull toward the person we're drawn to, even when we're not consciously trying to be near them. Your body, in a way, knows before your mind admits it. There's also something called the mere exposure effect, first studied by psychologist Robert Zionch, which found that the more we're around someone, the more we tend to like them, simply through familiarity. It's why secret admirers often orbit rather than approach. They show up in your group chats, your friend circles, your regular coffee spot, not because they're plotting anything, but because being near you, even in small increments, feels like enough. Their affection often expresses itself as presence, not pursuit. But maybe the most human part of all this is the contradiction it creates inside the person doing the liking. They want to be noticed, and they want to stay invisible, both at the same time. It's a strange tug-of-war. Think about it like standing at the edge of a pool on a cold morning. You want to get in, you know the water will feel good once you're used to it, but your body keeps hesitating at the edge, testing the temperature with your toes, stalling. That hesitation isn't a lack of desire, it's desire mixed with fear, doing a very awkward dance. And most people who secretly like someone are doing exactly that. Testing the water in tiny invisible ways, a lingering text, a inside joke, a you up at an oddly specific hour, without ever fully committing to jumping in.
There's also a quieter layer here worth sitting with. A lot of people who hide their feelings aren't doing it because they're manipulative or playing games. They're doing it because somewhere along the way they learned that wanting things openly is risky. Maybe an earlier crush was mocked. Maybe vulnerability once got them hurt. Psychologists studying attachment patterns have found that people with more anxious or avoidant attachment styles often struggle the most with direct emotional expression, not because they feel less, but because expressing it feels dangerous to their nervous system. So if you've ever been endlessly confused by someone who clearly seems into you but never says anything, it's worth remembering. Their silence is often a story about their past, not a verdict on your worth. And maybe that's the real shift here. We tend to treat unspoken feelings as a puzzle to solve, a code to crack, when really they're just a very human form of self-protection playing out in real time. The next time you sense someone might like you but can't quite prove it, try holding two truths at once. Their hesitation is real, and so is yours if you've ever been the one hiding how you feel. Being drawn to someone and being afraid to show it aren't opposites. They live in the same chest most of the time. So maybe the healthiest thing isn't decoding every mixed signal like a detective, but simply asking yourself what you already sense underneath all the analysis. Attraction, even hidden, has a certain gravity to it. You often feel it before you can explain it. And there's something oddly comforting in that. It means you don't need someone to say the words out loud to know that something real might be happening. Sometimes the truth is quieter than a confession. It's in the noticing, the remembering, the staying close without needing a reason to. If this made you think of someone, a person whose signals you've been quietly decoding, let me know in the comments. And if you want more of these deep dives into the psychology hiding behind everyday human behavior, stay close. There's more worth uncovering here.